Give a big round of applause for Corey Bennett. I really love the story that Chris been told where he held his friend by the neck and made him say, "Thank you, Daddy." He and I have been friends for like 3 years and he still has not done that to me. And I've been trying, I walk with the knife, I'm like, "Please, Daddy," and he's like, "Get out of here." So you guys know that phrase, "I wouldn't kick them out of bed." Could you imagine getting kicked out of someone's bed? Because I can. It happened to me. I hooked up with this dude, it was fine. But then in the middle of the night, he woke me up and said, "Hey buddy, you gotta head out." And I said, "That's a really hurtful thing to say to someone who just gave you head." I warned him too, I was like, "Hey man, just so you know, when I sleep, I snore like I'm dying." He's like, "That's fine, I sleep like I'm dead." And now I wish he was. So, I'm depressed. Anybody else? Yeah. Anybody single? Okay, cool. What's it like to be happy? I am single and I'm depressed, and that makes it hard because doing that turns my inner monologue into this angry, gay Disney villain. Like I'll see a happy couple and I'll just think to myself, I should kidnap their puppies. I need a new jacket. I wouldn't do that. Harming animals is frowned upon in our society, unless it's for profit, and this would just be for me. It's worse for couples I know. My best friend is engaged, she's getting married, she's so happy, and I'd like to steal her voice, like in The Little Mermaid. But I realized men have been doing that to women for decades, or centuries, so I settled for giving her an extra pair of legs. Like in The Little Mermaid. I'm also gonna turn to a woman and steal her husband. But it's a lot of fun. I'm also on all the dating apps. Are you on the dating apps? Good. Which one was your favorite when you were on them? Yeah, that's fair. I hate Tinder. I mean, I hate all of them. But like, Tinder's the worst, because I got into it trying to be really mindful about it, right? Like, I was intentional. I was gonna look at the guy's photos, read his bio, see if he'd want to kidnap a princess or two. But instead I swipe for 2 seconds and Tinder tells me that I'm out of potential matches. Like, "Sorry, Corey, no more dudes for you. But if you pay us $30 a month, we'll show you more dudes who don't like you. But these ones are in Canada." I'm like, "Sign me up, Tinder." No, if I'm gonna pay money to find a relationship, I want a guarantee. Like, if I'm paying, I want to match with like Ewan McGregor, or like Vin Diesel, or Sir Mix-a-Lot. Listen, baby still got back. Okay? One day he'll respond to my DMs. But the worst thing I ever went on off of Tinder, I met up with this guy, and I was trying to be like really optimistic about it and excited, but then he took me to Applebee's. Yeah. Which is a red flag, just so you're clear. Applebee's? Make him take you to a nice restaurant. But again, optimistic. So I got there, I walked up, and when I got there, this man was absolutely dripping in dandruff. Like, his face was a snowy waterfall. And I was like, I don't know, maybe it's something medical, or maybe he, only shops at Walmart, something. Oh no, you guys don't like that? I'm sorry. In my defense, I'm from Shelton. My sister was my cousin. I'm familiar with Walmart. But then we got to talking, and trying to have a conversation with this man was like pulling teeth. Like, I was engaged, I was like, "Where do you work? What do you do for fun? Have you ever heard of Head and Shoulders?" And I was getting nothing. So finally, I paid for the whole thing, just to flex. I power through my prison food at Apple Bliss. And I'm like, "Thank you so much, this happened." And I left as quick as I could. But then as I was driving home, I was on the highway, he texted me, "Hey, I had so much fun with you tonight." Liar. "But I don't think we should see each other again. I'm getting back together with my ex." How? How do you have an ex that loves you and all I have is dead cow? So I pulled off the highway immediately so I could text him back, and I said, "You should get back together with your shower." And I blocked him. For the next part of my set, I am going to go slightly interactive. I have two choices, which you get to choose from. I can either keep talking about my mental health, or I can talk about my sex life. Which would you like to hear about?
We get both?
Sex life, we can try to do both if there's time. But we'll start with my sex life. A lot of my dating is hooking up with strangers I meet online. So I went to this guy's house, and within the first 10 minutes of meeting him, he had me tied up on a swing in his basement. And as he was tying my wrists above my head, I started to think to myself, this could go one of two ways. And if Jeffrey Dahmer is any indicator, both options involve mouths. So I was panicking. I started looking for like other serial killer clues, like lotion in a basket, which I realized also could go either way. What I really learned is that I will never survive a horror movie. I would be the first one dead. It wouldn't be like the dumb cheerleader or the one black character. It would be me, because I'd be like, Jason, you want to stab me where? My machete's like, what, 12 inches? Afterwards, when I told my friends about it, they were like, Corey, what were you thinking? That was so dangerous. And I was like, I know. Sometimes to get sex, you have to endanger your life a little bit. I don't know. I told that to my therapist. She didn't like it. This other time I was hooking up with this guy, and he was really into role play. And not for me. Like, strokes for different folks. If you like it, good for you. You look like someone who might like role play. Like maybe like the doctor. And she'd be a patient. And you make her wait in the living room since it's a waiting room for 2 hours. Anyway. But this guy wanted to role play, and I was like, I don't think I want to do that. Like, I'll let a guy tie me up, eat me for dinner, but like, I gotta be me, you know? But then this guy, he said he wanted to role play as husbands. And I was like, oh, maybe you need therapy. But like, I was lonely, so I went for it. And like, he told me that when I got to his house, just come on in, don't worry about knocking, because, you know, we're husbands. And you guys, I have a really nice house. Oh my God, it was one of those fancy neighborhoods. There was like stainless steel appliances, big windows. I was like, honey, I'm home. And like, I was a theater kid in high school, right? I know, shocking. So like, I was into this, like I was method acting, and this was my Broadway debut. So I had a whole backstory lined up for us. I went to that house ready. I knew that we had met in our college journalism class. We got married in the spring. We had 3 beautiful children, all named after Marvel characters. But the kids are at their grandparents for the weekend, and this is our last chance to make love because Dad has Alzheimer's and Mom has cancer, so they're not going to be around much longer to babysit. So we didn't say hello. We just started making out when I walked in the door. And as we were doing that, he stopped for a minute to say, "Hey, are you ready to go to our bed?" And I said, "Cut." I don't think you'd say that if you were actually my husband. I actually think that you would probably say, "Let's go to bed." I think that makes a little more sense. Anyway. I was like, that's fine, we can keep going, and we did. But then, as we were actually doing the deed, when he finished, or no, as he was doing it, he said to me, "Let's get you pregnant." And I said, "I don't think that's physically possible, sir." And like a normal person who was having sexy talk with a stranger, he replied with nothing. But then after a few minutes, he tried again. He's like, "We're gonna make a baby." And I'm like, "We can't." So I started Googling divorce lawyers. But then after he finished, he then said, "I love you." And I said, "No one's ever said that to me before." "I love you too, babe." Anyway, I left. I said I was going out for cigarettes and I never went back. Dating's a lot of fun. Do you guys know what Grindr is?
Yes. Ow!
You just learned? Oh no. I hope it isn't in the way I'm about to talk about. Grindr is the worst. It's basically a gay hookup app, and where Tinder is like having a one-night stand in your bedroom with a condom, Grindr is getting raw dogged in the parking lot by a guy whose face you've never seen. Which, if that's how I define my husband, so be it. But I live in Olympia, and the further away you get from any major city, the worse Grindr gets. Like, straight people, you guys are everywhere. Like, you have no problem finding someone in the dumpster towns of humanity, like where I live. But when I go dumpster diving, all I get are 18-year-olds, fresh out of high school, and married men who want to get digged down when their wife and kids are home. So ladies, check your man's phone, especially if he's low-key homophobic. Like, if he refuses to drink White Claw because it's bitch beer, check his phone for Grindr. And if you find it, let him know. I'll be in the parking lot after the show. Dating's a lot of fun. I guess I can talk about my mental health now. I'm depressed. I know I said that earlier. And it's a serious topic. We shouldn't take it lightly, but I don't want to do that. I'm tired of it. Because when I get depressed, I get so dramatic that it's funny. Because, like, I was sad the other day. I walked outside and I'm like, maybe if I look at the sky, I'll feel better. And I saw a cloud that was shaped like a cloud. And I started to cry. And I was like, I don't know why I'm doing this. Maybe it's because it's floating above the world, untethered from the world's problems, or maybe it just weighs less than I do, which is rude. And then I went back into my house, and I turned into like a 2000s emo teenager. Like, I went to the bathroom, and I got on the floor, and I started putting on eyeliner and listened to Evanescence in the dark. I like put on a beret, and I'm like, maybe my oven is a good place to take a nap. I started staring out the window, like just watching the rain, wondering why no one loves me. Meanwhile, my friends and family are texting me that they love me. I think depression is funny because there's no like real evolutionary advantage for it. Like, it doesn't make us better. Like, cavemen back in the day, they probably weren't depressed. They were too busy surviving. Like, no caveman was like, hey man, I can't go kill this woolly mammoth with you today. I have to go kill myself. How did that happen? But I don't have to fight for my survival. If I am cold, I don't have to like build a fire. I just go to my wall and I hit a button. And it gets warm. And I'm still sad. Like, if I need food, I don't have to like go hunt for it. I just go to the grocery store. The only predators I have to worry about are the ones running the country. But that's a different threat. I've been in therapy for a long time, and that's a lot of fun. My first therapist was a gay conversion therapist. Yeah, my parents picked it. But halfway through the session, he told me about a gay conversion cruise. And I said, hold on. What is gayer than a cruise? How are you gonna get a bunch of gay dudes to turn straight on a cruise? We're gonna get 5 feet within a vodka soda and start dick sucking on the high seas. It's not gonna work. I didn't say that though. I actually said, are there any hot priests? That was the first time a man ever ghosted me. My second therapist was a witch. She walked in the room being like, magic is everywhere. The universe is connected. Can you feel it? And I said, no. I feel suicidal. She was like, here's a crystal. It worked for a second. My current therapist is great. She really holds me accountable, but last week she called me a slut. Which, like, fair. You heard my stories. But I realized that she texted me exclusively on her personal cell phone, which is connected to her personal Twitter, which is connected to her OnlyFans. I was like, who's the slut now, bitch? I subscribed immediately. I will never watch it, but I do support women. It's funny, I relate to women a lot more than I do guys. Like, when I hang out with my guy friends, I feel like I gotta code switch a lot more. Do you nice people know what code switching is? Cool, that's what I figured, you're all white. Code switching is where you lie to people about how you speak and how you act and who you are to make them like you. So I do that with my guy friends. I'm like, yeah, man, I fucking love sports. Go Red Bulls. Kick that goal right in the basket. I love balls. Anyway. It doesn't work. But when I hang out with my girlfriends, I get to do what I really want to do, which is talk about my feelings. Like, we get to bond, we get to grow as people, and I'm like, hey, you know what? This is where I belong. I would absolutely kill it as a straight guy. I would slay the pussy. But then I realized, I just said, slay the pussy, so that wouldn't work. I will say, I love drunk women. I need drunk women here. Are we getting drunk later so we can cry after the show? Drunk women are more supportive than therapy. It's great. I met this girl a couple weeks ago, and within 10 minutes she told me that I was the best person she had ever met all of my exes were trash and we would be sisters forever. I don't remember her name, but I do remember her family's medical history and her astrological chart. And she knows mine, we're both Gemini. All right, guys, I will leave you with one last thing. Just a little treat since you really enjoyed my sex life, which is weird. I have been single for a minute, a long time. But the longest and healthiest relationship I've ever had is with my glass dildo.
Woo!
His name is Idris Elba. And you know, I don't know why I asked for more. Idris is the perfect man. He's long, he's transparent, he never goes soft, and he's always just a little bit cold. You guys, thank you so much.